Please join us as we center our thoughts. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be.
Love is all.
Love is all there is. Love is all there will ever be. Love is all there is. Love is all there will ever be. Good morning. How's everyone today? Lots of bright smiling faces out there. There's some balloons, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Or do you want to do that now? Come on, Sasha, come here. Oh, no, not before we sing. Let's do our opening song.
See, now you sound like me.
I do sound
Anyway,
like you.
my name is Mark Paul, and this is Nick.
Yes.
And we're joined today by Larry Sire on the guitar, and Rev Deb actually here with us as well.
You've all had one of those mornings, haven't you? Okay, Rev Deb and I are having the same thing. Mark, I think he's all together, so. Let's stand and say the affirmation for the month of November for the last time. Let's say it together. This is the season for harvest. I receive my good now. I am grateful. Amen. Now stay standing. Let's sing our opening song, Stand Together. Okay. Welcome. How's everybody feeling? I just want to say before we start, choir, raise your hands if you were in the choir. Awesome, awesome, awesome job at Interfaith. That was so much fun, wasn't it? Now that is professionalism. That was great. You guys sounded so good when we stopped the music. But it was really fun, and we made an appearance, and we did the church proud. So thank you very much. Yes. Nice round of applause for the choir, please. Woo-hoo.
Hey, we couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And so next week we'll start some practicing for some Christmas carols and things. Yay. So I'm sure you see all of the balloons that are up, and you see this. Anybody know what this is all about?
Yes.
Hey, Sasha, why don't you come up and do a little dedication to your mom?
So this has been a very long time coming. So I think it's 30 years when you were first called to be a minister, when you first felt the calling, right? To be in Unity. And I've been growing up in Unity and gone to Unity since I was very small. And so in 6th grade, I finished my 6th grade year, she packed us all up, and we all were moving to Kansas City, Missouri to go to ministerial school. We got detained, no, we got detoured in California, and so we ended up staying there and then moving back to the islands, of which she continued on her path in just a different way. She grew 2 youth groups to huge sizes. She won awards within the youth group from Unity Village. She continued to write programs for the youth. She did on this, and then of course been a part of this church. Well, she started speaking in Palo Alto Unity, so she started her speaking and doing all of that, and she's been here for 17 years. So. Like when I was talking to my siblings, they're like, she's already a minister. What are you talking about? And that is the truth of this. This is just the official paper. She is now an ordained Unity minister, and we are so proud of her. And celebrating her, and we will officially do a celebration in February with a big old party, so I just want you to know about. But we're celebrating her, and we are so proud of her.
Stay simple, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I'll say a little something. You know, I always say something. It really has been a long time coming, and for those of you who've been with me on this journey, when I started taking classes, which was in 1988, to become a licensed Unity teacher. And so when I had to go back 5 years ago, by the grace of God, Diamond Head Unity, on Oahu, Reverend Sky started having classes there. So I didn't have to fly to the mainland to take, because that's what I used to do. First, you could only take classes at Unity Village. And then they brought it to the West Coast, so I took classes there. But by the time I started over again, almost all the credits had expired, so I had to take all those classes again. Wow. So that's what I've been doing, is studying, going to leadership, doing all the trainings, all that I've gone through. And then the beauty, there's so many firsts for me, so I know why God had another plan when I thought for sure I was going to be ordained in the early 90s. And it's like, not going to happen, Deb, you're going to do this pathway. So I became a single mom, and here I am today. Kids are grown, they have their kids. They're all adventuring in life because they got a great base in Unity. So blessed. And we also are part of a new region, which I tell you about, and it's a little bit tricky for us to understand, but we're part of the Pacific Rim region, which is a region that Reverend Sky also created, which allowed Unity School to be taught at Diamond Head. So if you really want to become a Unity minister, you only have to go to Oahu. And it's wonderful. So that's what's happened. And in our school, which is a brand new school, I am the first ordained Unity minister in our school. Yeah. So that's just an honor. And the reason we're going to celebrate in February is it'll be my birthday. It'll be this church's 30th anniversary. I'll be 65, all those things that happen, those big firsts and those big momentous events that occur in our lives. And I couldn't have done any of it without all of you, because you've been part of my ministry to myself and to you and our thrift store, oh my gosh. But every one of you have helped me along the way to not quit, to keep doing this, to be a spiritual leader when I said, I don't want to do church again. All those things, and here we are together celebrating this magnificence in every one of us through me being here in Kona. What a blessing. And two of my best, favorite minister friends have passed away, and they were monumental in getting me here to this place. And so what a blessing. Truly, truly is. And so we'll just keep going forward together, doing the work that we're doing, and growing spiritually. It's exciting. It's very, very exciting. And I'll tell you, I've been so stressed out because I had to practice all my faith. Everything I teach you, I had to practice in the last few weeks because I was waiting and waiting to hear. And anybody had to wait for an answer to something for a while? How's your faith? Well, mine got a little weak, and especially this past week, they said, well, you'll know by the 25th of November. So that's the date that was in my mind. So come Tuesday of last week, I was like, I gotta know. They've already had their board meeting. I've gotta know. So I emailed the person in charge, the director of licensing and ordination, and she said, well, we are a little behind in getting their certificates out, and if you have been chosen, the person who does that is on vacation. And I was like, say what? And that's what I emailed her back. I said, don't you know? That's what I, question mark. So then the Wednesday morning on the 25th, she said it was for real, and to let me know when I got my certificate. So isn't that a great thing? So it was like, God, you're so funny. You just keep dangling that little carrot, and I keep going for it, So anyway, what an experience. And it's like, okay, this is opening a whole nother adventure and chapter for me and for us together as a ministry. It's pretty exciting. So thank you, everybody.
Good morning. Today's daily word is faith. With faith, I first believe, then I see. Some say seeing is believing, but my spiritual self first believes, then sees. Faith does not require that I know all the steps to take before I begin my journey. I pray with faith, then open my mind and heart to guidance. When children write letters to Santa Claus, they hope their wishes will come true. My belief is greater even than that of a child. With grown-up faith, I turn within and listen. The answers I receive may be chance encounters, unexpected opportunities, or exciting new ideas. My faith is confirmed every day. I follow through on my guidance. As I am led, I act. I put feet under my prayers. First I believe, then I see. Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and followed him on the way. Mark 10:52. Again, our daily word is faith, and our affirmation is, with faith I first believe, then I see. Together? With faith I first believe, then I see. And you're living proof.
Yes, and now is the time where I invite you to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And we see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us, moving through our thrift store back into Sunday school, blessing our children. And in these moments, we just allow this heart to be filled with the love that we have for ourselves and each other, the caring and the compassion that we have, that we're willing to share. And so in these moments, just allow our hearts to become one. And just allowing that power to fuel us and nurture us. And in these moments, if you know of anyone in need of prayer, see them in our heart. And if you know of any circumstance in our world, of which there are many, in your world, allow them to be in our heart as we sing the prayer for protection. And now I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Close your eyes if that feels right to you. We begin our time of centering in prayer by just breathing. Taking a deep breath, that very breath of life that is God. And holding it for a moment. As we exhale, we begin to relax. And breathing in. And exhaling, we just quiet our mind. We calm our emotions. And breathing in again deeply. Exhaling this time, we rest in the consciousness of our heart. Relaxing our breath. We allow ourselves to be focused right here and right now on the power of faith that resides in us. We affirm right here and right now this truth. I am now open and receptive to the spirit of faith in me. I am now open and receptive to the spirit of faith in me. And affirm this silently in your mind and in your heart. I am now open and receptive to the living spirit of faith in me. We know this is true, that we have within us all the faith we will ever need to move mountains. As Jesus said, your faith has made you well. We are whole beings filled with faith, filled with love. We care, we are kind and considerate. And every day we are blessed by that Holy Spirit, the whole Spirit of God, reminding us, showing us all things work together for good. We are grateful. And in these moments, as we go into a time of quiet prayer, whatever in your life that requires you to open and strengthen your faith, take that with you, that request, knowing that whatever may be happening in your life, your faith is making you well, right here and right now. We believe it, we see it, and we know it in the silence. I invite you to take another deep breath. And as we exhale, we smile with the light, the love, the Spirit of truth in us, radiating from our heart to every cell in our being and showing up on our face. The light is in us. And we have all the faith we'll ever need right here and right now. In these moments, dear God, we just say thank you for reminding us, for bringing us to this place where we are one, where our faith has made us whole and well right here and right now. And so it is. Amen. What a blessing. What a blessing we have for all this good stuff. During the meditation, it was like, go get Edween's book. I want you to share this story, so I will. But first of all, this is the beginning of our Advent season. You've probably been wondering why we have these candles lit here. Well, we have 2 people in our congregation that are willing to be our first Advent family. And I've been doing this particular tradition since Palo Alto, and that's in California. And Reverend Stan Hampson was one of those great unity ministers for me, and he taught me a lot of things. And part of that is doing our Advent Sunday. And Advent is a season of preparing ourselves for that light of the Christ to be born in us. And so each week there's a theme and a candle that we light, and we have Advent families, and they come and share with us. So these 2 people are great friends, and we have friends that are family. And so I've asked Renee and Shirley if they would both come up. Come on. Oh, happy day. 2 of our great volunteers as well. And so they're going to share with us this is your job now, guys. Okay? Ready?
Yep. Faith. This is Advent. It is the time when we focus on the birth of the light of Christ in us. This is our time to prepare our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our spirit for the great feast of Christmas, having faith that all things work together for good. We light the first candle of Advent for faith. We have unlimited amount of faith within us. Affirmation: I have all the faith I need to move mountains.
Let us pray. Dear God, during this time of Advent, show us how to be patient and loving with ourselves and others. Teach us how to have time for loved ones, to care for ourselves and others. May we have continued faith in all we see, think, and do. Amen.
Great. Thank you, too, Advent. You can just do it, right? Oh, wow. She doesn't know about this. You know, every month we have a volunteer of the month. This month for November was Mamie is our wonderful volunteer for this month of November. And because Renee is going away for a few weeks, we thought we would surprise her today so she could go on this wonderful trip, knowing that she's our volunteer for the month of December. And you know, everyone says that. We're going to change that. You're worthy of this. For those of you who don't know, Renee volunteers at the thrift store. She'll do anything you ask her to do, but she does our Craigslist, and it's fabulous because of putting all of our stuff and goodness about the thrift store on Craigslist. It helps our sales tremendously. And I've known Renee for, I guess, 4 years now. Yep. And so we met under trials and tribulations, and I've just watched, she's probably seen me grow too, but we've grown in many ways, and we're so blessed. And yesterday, she helped decorate, Shirley decorated, Diana, and Maggie the dog. Maggie was here with us and just had a blast. It was so great. So we had a lot of, did I leave anybody out who helped decorate? That was us. Yeah, yay. So anyway, we're honoring you this day so you can go on your vacation knowing that you're the volunteer of the month for December. We love that surprise, don't we? Woohoo! And we have lots of surprises during the month of December, too. So keep coming on Sundays. You'll have a lot of things. Yeah, and then we're supposed to sing our Advent song. So are we ready for that? Guys and Larry? And Patrick's going to put the words up there. So For those of you who may or may not know, Rhea Kennedy was here with us, our music director, for like 14 years. And she passed away, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago now, a long time. But we made this song up together a long time ago, and we continue to sing it. And so we're going to invite you to sing it with us. Larry's going to play it to the tune of the Little Drummer Boy. Thank you, thank you. That's our thing for today. Yes, and so Nick already asked you, how are you? I'm going to ask you again, how you doing today? Great. I think I should move this over. Only because
Gonna do cartwheels?
I might do that. I'll bring everybody up. Yes, it's our day of faith. And how many of you completed your little booklets that we did for the last 21 days? Awesome. These were, what'd you say, Don? Somewhat. Hey, somewhat is better than no what, right? So we created these real simple booklets for everyone to have during the holiday season to create that experience of gratitude. So even if you did it one time, that created more of that loving energy in you. All right, so what were some of the things that you're grateful for? I am grateful for. Anyone? Out loud. You know how well, what are you grateful for? He's grateful for family. That's my grandson up there. Dawn.
I'm grateful for the ability to take care of myself.
Grateful for the ability to take care of herself. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone else? What'd you find out about yourself? Joe.
My healthy body.
Her healthy body. Yes, absolutely. And then our second line was, or is, I felt love today. When? I can tell you, when I walked in here today and saw the balloons, I didn't know any of this was happening. And so I was very surprised, and I knew that my daughter did it. I just knew because she was here before me, way before me at church today. And I was like, what's she doing here? How great is that? And then I walked in. So I felt very loved today by everyone and everyone's celebration of my experience. So when did you feel loved? In this last week, this last 21 days? Yes. When her husband made her breakfast this morning. That's a loving thing. Anyone else? Amy.
When I had a leak in my pipe and my neighbor put his hose over the fence so I could have water.
Oh, yeah. That's a wonderful thing of feeling loved. Yes, yes. And our third sentence was and is, I am willing to. What did you find that you were willing to do or be in a different way?
Do my part.
Willing to do his part, Vince said. What else? Virginia.
Willing to help others.
Willing to help others. You do that. That's like she really does. Anyone else? Nick.
Willing to fail.
Willing to fail. That's very, very big. For any of you who are studying, I'm studying Brene Brown a lot these days and going to take a class in January. With her is she's a professor, University of Houston, and she's all about that. We have to be willing to fail in order to rise strong. And how many of us were taught to do that? Do we have faith in failing? Doesn't that sound like it wouldn't be very positive, practical Christianity? But we're taught to put on this facade that says, I am invincible. And they have superheroes for women too. It's not just Superman. There's Wonder Woman. Anybody dress up like her? We have. And so we learn in life that we really have to go within to find that faith, because it's always there. And I can tell you flat out, on Tuesday afternoon, I was like, God, where are you in this thing called life? Could they not ordain me? I've been here so long. I've been here longer than most people, other ordained ministers, have a church. Could they really say I'm not qualified? Oh my God, then what would I do? I'd have to come in here and say, well, guys, next time. So be it. So that willingness, that spirit of willingness, and then to have the faith. And it was like, okay, where does that faith come from? It comes from that daily practice of prayer and meditation. And You Pray apps. I listen to that all the time and say the affirmations and write the prayer requests and get a response from Silent Unity. Because that's a connection where I feel whole again. And having faith means that we're willing to step out there, not knowing what the answers are. And everyone in this room has done it. Can you think right now of a time in your life when you stepped out in faith, not knowing what the outcome would be? Yes, I see your head shaking because we do it, and we've done it more than once, wouldn't you say? Every time you say, I think I might want to do this, or I think I might want to be this, or I think I can do this. Wasn't that one of our favorite children's stories when we were little? The little train that could. I think I can. I lived by that because life seemed so hard, but I didn't know it was hard. I just knew it was, I didn't know what the words were for it, but I think I can make it through this day. I think I can go to church before school. I think I can ride my bike 10 miles to wherever I needed to go. You know, all those things that we decide that we're going to do. How many of you have applied for a job? Yeah, most everybody's hand should go up for that one. And how many of you applied for a school? More than one school. How many of you were turned down for anything? How many of you have ever been fired? When you look back, wasn't it one of the best things in your life? Listen to you. That's exactly right. Because those events that occur lead us to our greater good. Even though at that time it seems like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. So we go within. We use the tools that we have. And we talk to each other. A couple of weeks ago, I told Sash, I said, you know, I'm kind of failing in the faith department. I'm like, this is really stressing me out. Why is that? Journal, 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 journal. How many of you are journalers? If you're not, I highly recommend it because it does work for me. But journaling helps me find the truth of what's going on inside of my being. And so I just started writing about what is it? What is this thing about failing? And so it brought me back 2 times in my life when I was a little girl. And there were times that I failed. How many of you failed when you were little? Did you ever get on a bicycle and run into a fence? Yeah. Yep. Did you ride a bicycle and fall over? Did you get back up and do it some more? Yes, we have and we do. So every time that we fail in our mind and in our heart, we're saying, get up and keep moving. We're going to keep doing this, and we need to know we're not alone. That's what I love about Brené Brown. I mean, millions of people have watched her videos on vulnerability and shame because we are shame-based people. Do you come from a shame-based family? Most of us did. And everyone told you weren't good enough. You certainly weren't smart enough, or thin enough, or beautiful enough, and reinforced by the media that we so love. It tells us that we're not good enough. Who's going to tell you you are enough? That you're more than enough? That you're ready, you're capable and strong? When I came to Unity, I heard those words. I knew I was a good mom. I worked my butt off to be a good mom. We had our own business. I worked really hard at that too. I worked really hard at many, many, many things, trying to get some kind of approval. and to say, yes, you're worthy. But until we know it inside of ourselves, it's water on a rock. And so we want to be at that place in our lives where we say, I'm worthy of love, and I know just what to do. Any of you get indecisive about things? We do. And so now when I feel that way, I say, okay, is this based on people pleasing, or do I really not know what to do? And my mantra, as you know right now, is to stand strong in who you are, not in who you think you should be. Because everyone has told us forever who we are and how we should be. And when you suit up and show up and keep doing your best, you will receive your good. And even if you don't do your best, your good is always here. The reason I wanted to read Edwin's story, how many of you are familiar with this book? Most of us are here for sure. The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And Edwin is my teacher in the prosperity movement. And I love this story because it comes from the chapter on goal setting. Now, goal setting is one of those things where you set a goal out there and you do need faith to stick to that goal, wouldn't you say? So her brother has a wonderful story, which I want to share with you. When I was a little girl, all I ever wanted was a pony. But my parents said no. They explained that horses were expensive and they couldn't afford to buy one. Any of you want something your parents told you that? Yep, they explained that horses were so expensive. So you can imagine my reaction when Penn, her brother, came into my room one day and said, guess what I'm getting for Christmas? A pony. I've been wanting a pony all my life, I told him with annoyance. I've never gotten one. What makes you think you're going to get a pony? Now, can you picture what it's like talking to your siblings like that? Yes. With great exuberance, he announced, Santa Claus is going to bring me one. In my infinite wisdom at the ripe old age of 12, I decided to enlighten him. I proceeded to tell him how the packages got under the Christmas tree, how all the gifts got in the stockings, and who really ate the cookies and drank the milk that were left out. I ended with a pronouncement, that's why you're not getting a pony for Christmas. I love it. So Penn drew himself up, put his hands on his 6-year-old hips, looked me straight in the eye and announced, that's what you think. I have to admit that his confidence shook me a little. I went to my father and asked, are you getting Penn a pony for Christmas? No, he said, we are not getting him a pony for Christmas. Leave him alone. He's just pretending. Immediately, I felt better. Penn was not going to get a pony. But as I watched him, I noticed my brother lived in a world where he was going to be getting a pony. He found an old army blanket in the garage that he was going to use as his pony blanket. He dug around the bathroom and found an old hairbrush he was going to use to brush the pony's mane and tail. Do you get what's happening here? He found an old wash tub he was going to use for water for the pony. My brother got ready for his pony. As I watched Penn, his confidence made me wonder. I went to my mother. Tell me the truth, I said. Are you getting Penn a pony for Christmas? No, Edwin, we are not getting him a pony, my mother assured me. He's playing make-believe. Please just leave him alone. And so I let it be. As it happened, about 2 weeks before Christmas, my dad was invited to go on a hunting trip in South Texas with an old friend who was a rancher. Dad got up before dawn and drove to the ranch. As he and his friend were loading up the pickup truck for their trip, they heard a commotion in the stables and walked over to see what was happening. They found a beautiful Palomino mare giving birth to a Palomino colt. The 2 men stayed to watch the holy birthing process. As the colt was born, the rancher turned to my father and said, Ed, you've been such a good friend to me all these years. Can I give you this little colt for your son for Christmas? My dad was so excited and stunned, he never mentioned Penn's obsession with ponies. Instead of going hunting, my dad got in the car, drove back home, and picked up my mom, Penn, and me to come and see the colt. The colt was so fragile with spindly legs that it couldn't get to the work right. It was such a precious sight. I wish you could have seen the look of shock and happiness on my brother's face when he saw that little blonde colt. And I wish you could have seen the pain and envy on mine. The rancher was a very sensitive and understanding man. He could see what was going on inside me. So he came over and put his arm around my shoulder and said, Edwene, I want your brother to have the colt, and I want you to have the mare. Directed faith is not a vague, hazy, wishful yearning. It is a powerful belief of expectancy that causes the universe to send us wonderful things. There is no doubt in my mind that my brother's directed faith, which never wavered for one moment, brought us both our gifts. How's that? It's a great story. That's why Edwene is such a wonderful teacher and unity minister. And I want to say to all of you, your faith has made you well. We're all well. We're all here right now together, sharing this fabulous moment of directed faith. So I invite you this week and during this holiday season to see where you are directing your faith and what is going to manifest for you right here and right now. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.